And a good Saturday morning to the sports fans of Lincoln and Logan County this Saturday morning, November 27, 2010. You're listening to the Chief Seats on 96.3 WLCN. Cameron Kurtz and Josh Komnick out here with you at Lincoln Community High School. We're sitting in the lobby right in front of Roy S. Anderson, right as soon as you come in off the Circle Drive, out here at the high school this morning for the Eaton Round Robin Tournament. And of course, our show today is sponsored by Rick Ham State Farm Insurance. And Josh, late night, early morning, whichever way you want to call it, Lincoln goes to the late game last night, the nightcap that was supposed to start at 8:30. It was after 9 by the time it got going, well after 10 o'clock before this thing wrapped up. And I'm sure Sam Knox and his staff were quite busy as it was well after 11 o'clock before this place finally cleared out last night. Yeah,
after the overtime game of Cahokia and Danville got started late, and it was really just a normal game for the Railers as far as time-wise. And I checked in at about 11:30, got home, and then I had to stay up and watch Boise State and Nevada. So that was turned out to be 1 o'clock. So it was a really late night and a short morning, but a lot better of a night with the Railer W and the way we did it last night.
And of course that Railer W comes with the help of head coach Neil Alexander, and we're fortunate enough to have Coach Al in the house with us this morning. And Coach Al, 80-52 that final last night. You improved your record to 3-0, an impressive week so far, and you were able to string together a nice set of plays and that high power offense last night that beat Morton. You care to talk about that a little bit?
Well, it was a good night, and our kids, we shot the ball exceptionally well. When you shoot the ball, you look pretty good, and you make shots. And I thought our defense, we moved, and we held a good basketball team to 52 points. And we didn't waste any time shooting the ball ourselves. We got it up there pretty quick, so there was a lot of possession. So the more possessions you got, the more of an opportunity the opponent has to score. So realistically, our kids played pretty good defense last night.
Yeah, breaking down the tournament, Coach, first off, we took on Belleville-Althoff on Monday night, November the 22nd, and we were victorious 61-49. And, Coach, that was a game coming into where we knew what they had coming in from last year. Sonnenberg, 6'5", he's been their 3-year starter now at least, and a heck of a talent inside, and also some guards on the outside. So Althoff coming in was a definite challenge, but the Railers, as they have in these first 3 games, really in the second and third quarter is when you made your runs. That's when we hit the threes, and that it seems like it energized the guys every game here so far, and really took off from there.
Well, I thought against the Althoff, we played exceptionally well defensively the first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter was kind of let our guard down to where they were penetrating and creating a lot of problems for us with their penetration. So, but consistently, I thought last night defensively, they had a lot of weapons, so we were able to keep them in check and do the things that makes us successful. And again, when you shoot the basketball like we did, it really cures a lot of problems.
Yeah, Coach, and that's you talk about that Althoff game, and really a surprise maybe of the tournament so far. Belleville is 0-3, and a team that I thought we would have trouble with. We made it relatively easy. As you talk about the first game of the year, you were really pleased, and I think a lot of Railer fans were pleased with the effort in the game. We did let it slide a little bit in the fourth, but Althoff going 0-3, and will we see them possibly in Collinsville? Are they going to be in Collinsville this year?
They're down in Collinsville, so I hope they win some games, because that's a pretty good 0-3 team. And
right.
This tournament was really hard to seed, to try to get your matchups to where you had your best matchups on Saturday night. But with Danville having the success that they had in football, but you have to have the tournament set up and out by the 1st of November. So you can't wait until late in the year or whatever that they can step up and hey, here's why we were going to do it. So, we just got to play it out, and tonight or this morning is a very important game.
And you talk about that tournament, and Coach, a lot of people in the community, and if you're just a high school basketball fan in general, you have to be aware of the Lincoln Thanksgiving Tournament year in and year out. It brings some of the best competition from around the state. This necessarily wasn't the case 10, 12, 15 years ago, as it seemed that some of the teams on the schedule, for lack of better terms, not necessarily say that they were easier scheduled teams, but in the last couple of years, Lincoln has done an exceptional job of bringing in those good quality basketball teams, and it makes for an excellent tournament. Just discussing with some other media personnel throughout the week, a lot of people were saying that Morton was going to be probably a surprise of the tournament, a team that on paper you kind of take a look at their stats and may not be as impressive compared to other teams, but when you take a look collectively at the overall package that Morton brings, a group of kids that shoot the ball very well and they're well coached.
Well, I think Morton is an excellent team. I don't think the score indicates what type of team Morton is. I think they hit us on a night where we were shooting the ball unbelievably, and we fed off our offense to the defensive end, and we knew that coming in that was going to be a good game, but we had to make sure that we tried to control them, and it was important. We hit our first 2 or 3 shots and jumped out 7-8 to nothing, and that's a hard blow. That's kicking them in the gut pretty quick, and that's what we did last night, and it helped us to maintain and to play the way we did. And the shots, when you get up big, it's easy to shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
You're relaxed, and there's a difference between being relaxed and having some tension in the shoulders and arms when the game's tied or you're down as big as they were. But look for Morton to be one of those top contenders out of that Peoria area when it comes to the state tournament time.
Coach, for that Belleville-Altoff game, of course, the Railers win 61-49. Nelson leads the way with 22 points, followed by Nathaniel Smith with 12 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists, 11 for Jordan Gessner, and also 11 for Christian Van Hook. We'll turn our attention now to the game against Champaign Centennial, a nemesis for the Railers in the last 4 years, although they've had a ton of talent and a ton of talent graduate. I think also we caught the Chargers at the right time. They're a team that can get better. Piper, that was his first game back, who's been a guy that's played on that championship team and that team that finished second last year. We were victorious in that game, 58-35, and really what the shooting in the second and third quarter again, and the lack of Centennial shooting the ball well that night was, and I credit our defense too. We rebounded the ball pretty well. 58-35, got to be happy with the Centennial win.
Well, it was, when they've had the success and winning, it's contagious. And, when you have kids that turn over year after year, you got new kids coming in, but as long as they're coming up through a system that's winning, that's a big help. And that's where Centennial's, kind of stands right now. They've had success the last 4 or 5 years. They're very well coached. Tim Lavin does an outstanding job. He's got a state championship. And, by Christmas, he'll have this young group, playing pretty good basketball. So, you just got to watch out for them. And, again, by the end of the year, I think they'll be a team that'll be very dangerous.
Yeah, Jordan Nelson leads the way that night, 28 points. He was 10 of 15 from the field, 5 of 10 from the three-point land. He loves being here at Roy S. Anderson. 28 points for Nelson. Nathaniel Smith goes for 11, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then 6 points for Austin Kirby, 6 points for Jake Olson. Another well-rounded effort, especially guys off the bench. 15 assists to 7 turnovers for the Railers. And a stat that I've been looking at closely between last night and the game on Wednesday night against Centennial, they had 1 assist and 15 turnovers in the game, and that's something that we, as maybe a guy I don't look at all the time, but you hear about it on ESPN, and the analysts and the coaches, they want that 2-to-1 turnover ratio, and you saw it again last night. I think it was like 4 assists to 15 turnovers again for Potters, and something that the Railers have defensively done pretty well.
Well, I think that's important. Yeah. And like we talked last night, in the 3 games, we've had 14 turnovers, and I think that's outstanding. I don't know how many assists we've had, but I would think we've had a lot more than 14 assists. But our kids are handling the ball, taking care of it, and, when you put a little bit of punishment behind a turnover, they really take care of the basketball. So,
a couple of suicides take care of that.
Well, we start out with 12 at the beginning of the year, and I think that's really too high for us anymore because we had 4 the first night, and to have 4 turnovers on the opening night is really unrealistic. And we had 7 the second, and I don't know what we had last night or something, but I think we had. It's remarkable that we're taking care of it, and as long as we continue to do that, we've talked about getting a shot every opportunity. We have the basketball, so it's really paid off.
That late game last night, Coach, the 80-52 win over Morton. Jordan Nelson, 37 points, ties the three-point record with 9 three-pointers in a game. The Raiders come off red hot right at the beginning of the game, making just about everything that basically came their way. Jordan Nelson, 16 points in the first quarter alone, and it was an overall offensive performance that your team strung together last night. 42 first-half points, something that's almost unheard of in a high school basketball game, something that we definitely see in the collegiate ranks and even on beyond that in the pros.
You didn't yesterday, though. California put up 5 in the first half. 5 points for a Division I basketball team.
It happens.
No, that should not happen. Coach Howell does not have that problem, I can tell you that.
42 points and a half. That's about what, a lot of times we score in the low 40s and win basketball games. But we had it in the first half last night, so it was a good offensive night for us.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Jordan Nelson, 14 of 24 from the field, 9 of 18 from the three-point land, 37 points. He had 5 boards. Nathaniel Smith, just a guy that's coming along great so far here in the first. We knew he had it. We knew he had it last year, but I think his confidence level has definitely jumped this year. Nathaniel Smith goes 8 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Another stat filler for Smitty. 5 points for Jordan Gessner, 9 for Brant Coyne. We hadn't seen a lot from Brant this year yet. He'd been doing a job on the boards. He battled Sonnenberg, which takes a lot of energy out of you. But last night he started on fire, and that's really what helped build that lead. He was 3 of 6 from the three-point land. 16 assists for the Railers, 7 turnovers. Like you said, the Railers shoot 58.5%, 31 of 53 for the game, 15 of 31 for 48% from three-point land, and 3 of 7 from the free throw line for 42%. Something, Coach, looking at the three-point land, we know we can shoot the basketball. That's going to happen. But we've looked at the free throws haven't been maybe what we're up to the standard of excellent shooters. Haven't been there this year yet.
Well, it hasn't. But you got to remember we haven't really spent a lot of time on the free throw line. Now that we've done with the 2-a-days and we're getting into the season, the kids will start focusing more in the mornings on shooting free throws. So I sure hope that improves, because I think that's an important stat.
All right, Coach and Josh, we're going to have to step aside, take our first commercial break of the broadcast, and when we come back, we will sit down with Coach Allen. We will break down the action that's to come later on today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back in a few minutes.